Hey everyone, Chris here, and welcome to my channel, and welcome to this week's reading vlog. So if you watched last week's reading vlog, you know that I did not film on Friday or Saturday, and it is now 2 a.m. on Sunday morning because I just finished wrapping that vlog up, but I wanted to get this one started because I actually have some information for it. So my main goal for this week is to finish my TBR because we're getting close to the end of the month. Like, we're more than halfway through the month at this point, and I don't think I've made much of a dent. So I'm going to pull up my spreadsheet. I have a spreadsheet where I keep all the books I plan to read and page counts and stuff like that. So of the 10 books on my TBR, I've read 3 of them. Oops. And I can tell you that I am partway through Heart of Flames, as you well know. I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. There are other books I hope to get to this month, but of my Phase 10 TBR, those are the ones I've been slacking on. So my goal is to hopefully get some of those read and done and off of my TBR. So the ones I need to read that I haven't done yet are The Story Web, River of Secrets, Choose Your Own Autobiography, Finish Heart of Flames, The Weather Machine, The Hammer of Thor, and The Underground Railroad. Yeah, I've got lots of reading to do. The other books that I'm hoping to get to this month that I haven't yet are my seasonal covers, because I'm still working on the spring ones, even though we're in summer, and I would like to be done with both spring and summer before fall starts. So I really need to get on those, and The Story Web is one of my spring covers. And then for Questathon, I put on the 10,000 Doors of January. So I'm planning on getting to 2 of them this month because of my TBR game and a readathon. So I'd like to get to the other 3 so I can film that vlog and get it out to you all. And then I need to finish my nonfiction and my series. 2 of my series were on my TBR, one of which I've done and one of which I haven't started yet. My nonfiction was on my TBR, so I will hopefully get to that. And then the other one is The Whispering Wars by Jacqueline Moriarty. I am now on page 116, and you can see where I had the bookmark in for the previous video, but I'm now on page 116. The kids are just starting to kind of realize exactly what is going on and are starting to formulate plans on how they can rescue the missing kids. They are very different characters, Finley and Honeybee, and it is interesting to see the differences in their tone when they're telling the story, because they're both aware of the fact that the other is telling the story because they refer to the fact that they're sharing this. So I'm going to assume they make it out of this story unscathed, or we get to the point where they're writing this story down in the book and then we don't know what happens after that. But at least for now, I can assume that they're going to make it out all right, though that doesn't necessarily mean anything about their friends. I still think it's going to be in that 3-star range, but I'm willing to let it surprise me. But this is the only book in a series out of my series jar that isn't on my TBR, so I need to work on that. So yeah, my main goal is to finish my TBR. I finished Hollowpox today, and it is getting 5 stars. It definitely was a timing issue for me the first time around. I was much more into it this go around than I was the last one. And I think that is directly because I was not ready to read about any sort of pandemic kind of situation. In case you haven't read Hollowpox, and I'm going to assume for this case that you're familiar with the series, there is a disease going around that affects wonimals, which, in case you don't know, are sentient animals who have personalities and can move around and interact and be productive members of society just like humans. And they get infected with the Hollowpox, and they end up turning into their more domesticated counterparts. So if you had, say, a wonimal that was a panther, that was your teacher or your bus driver or your grocery store clerk, they would be completely normal, converse, have conversations, intelligence, and then they get this Hollowpox, and it's like a switch is flicked, and all of a sudden, all they care about is doing anything you would associate with a panther in real life, like in our world. And it was just hard to watch because when I read it the first time, there were just too many similarities, even though we're talking about like animals, to the pandemic and everything that was going on with that. So I struggled the first time I read it, but this time I'm far enough removed from that to be able to give it the full 5 stars. And I'm really glad I did my reread, even though the 4th book got pushed back. So it's going to be a while before we can read that one. But either way, I was really excited to read that. And despite the fact that I said I wanted to focus on my TBR, I have picked up The Secret Keeper by Kate Morton. I'm on page 146, and we're looking at the lives of Laurel and Dolly. And Dolly is Laurel's mother, so we're getting Laurel in, I don't think it's present day, 2011, right. We're getting Laurel in 2011, and we're looking back at Dolly's life around and during World War II, and like who she was before she became Laurel's mom. And in the very beginning, there is a thing that happens that is kind of showing what is connecting these two stories. And basically there's something that happens with Laurel and her mom, and it's kind of the driving force between the narratives and why we're seeing 2011 Laurel and past Dolly and trying to put the pieces together to figure out the mystery that was caused by this thing that happens between Laurel and her mom. I'm trying not to say too much because I went into it not knowing, and I thought it was more enjoyable going into it not knowing all of the details. But I'm enjoying this so far, but I'm also feeling slightly slumpy. But I think I'm feeling slumpy because of the fact that I've just had a really, really rough week that has made this week feel like it's been about 3 weeks instead of 1, but that I got the same amount of sleep as I did in 1 week. Like, I had to go and do 3 weeks worth of work on 1 week's sleep. So I've just felt exhausted. And I mentioned in the last vlog that there was a home being torn down next door to me. So I got woken up with like 4 hours sleep on Friday. And I'm still recovering from that today. Though I did get 9 hours sleep last night. And I think that's only the second time this year I've done that. So that was kind of nice. So I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this book yet. Because again, like I said, I'm feeling a little bit slumpy. But it might just be that I'm tired. And I still love reading. So like when I have nothing better to do, I want to read. Like when there's nothing I need to be doing, I want to read. So I'm picking books up, and I don't think it's the book's fault that I'm like tired. So I'm trying not to judge them too harshly because of that. So it may just be a me thing. But yeah, my goal for this week is to hopefully tackle some of my TBRs behind the camera, which is what I keep looking at and just going, I have so much to read. And yeah, I know it won't take me that long if the books are engaging and pull me in, and I'm hoping that they're all good or I wouldn't have picked them. I feel pretty confident about one of them because it's the second book in a series that I already know I love. Oh, and I have, it's not in my room, it's in the living room, but I have the second book in the Magnus Chase and the Gods of Asgard series. And I really love book 1, so I see no reason why I won't love book 2. I'm just waiting for the audiobook to come in for that because I requested it from the library and I love listening to audiobooks. So feeling good about that one too. It's the rest of them that I'm not so sure about, but we'll see. So I am going to sign off here because this is a very long intro clip and I want to go read and hopefully wind down and maybe get some sleep because, like I said, it's been a very long week. So I will hopefully check back in with you before an entire week has gone by, but we'll see. Fingers crossed. I'm hoping to do a little more filming this week because I've got like a haul I want to film and an unhaul, and it'd be cool to do the mid-year freak out tag, and I have my own TBR game to play, and I am participating in ping pong-a-thon, so I have that TBR to film. So if I could get some of that film this week, it would be nice, but we'll see. It's all going to depend on how things shake out. But yeah, I'm going to go, and I will check back in with you all later. Please enjoy the cute kitty content that is coming your way. officially the 22nd, and that means I absolutely failed at vlogging this week. But it's all right, because I didn't do too hot with the reading either. It was brutally hot. Not as bad as the UK, I will say that. One, I do have air conditioning, even if it doesn't work great. It is still better than not having air conditioning. And two, my buildings were not designed to keep heat in, so there's that. And I think I was also like at least 10 degrees cooler than parts of the UK, so not as bad as the UK, but still hot. And it just made me feel all blah. I didn't really want to do anything. The one thing I did do a lot of was edit this week. I still need to watch the videos back, but I have edited some videos, which is nice. I have edited last week's vlog, the first clip for this week's vlog, the entirety of week 3 of Whatever-a-thon, and I have 25 minutes left of my week 4 of Whatever-a-thon to edit. And that video started at 88 minutes, so I have edited quite a bit of footage for that. So that's what I've been doing. It's been hot and gross, and I've had the lights off, and I've had fans on, and it just really hasn't been conducive to reading. But I'm going to share with you what I have read. So first up, we'll go with The Whispering War. I am now on page 144. I think that means I read about 20 pages of this. Don't have many more thoughts than I had the last time I talked to you, because again, 20 pages, my thoughts really haven't changed. I am hoping to finish that this week. I'm planning on reading this tonight, maybe after I finish Heart of Flames. I have like an hour left in the audiobook, so it'll take me about 20 minutes. But I have finally gotten to the very end of this book, and unless something spectacular happens in the last hour, this is a 3.5-star book. I will finish the series because I am curious as to how this ends up. And there are characters I do really, really enjoy in this book, but there is a character I cannot stand. And again, not in a good, I want to see them get their comeuppance sort of way. In a, it's making me actively not want to read the story. So there's that. We shall see what I feel about the last book and how this trilogy ties up, but I want to finish the trilogy because I do like enough of the characters that I want to know how their story ends, even if it means sitting through chapters and dialogue and story and plot with the character I don't like. That being said, I did finish 2 whole books this week. Well, I think 3, because I think I finished Hollow Pox. So 3 whole books this week. Wow, what a great week for me. I think, like I said, part of it was due to the heat, and part of it is I'm a bit slumpy, I guess. I'm probably going to say I'm more burnt. Cat. I'm probably going to say I'm more burnt out than slumpy because of how much I read at the end of Whatever-a-thon, which you will see. I'm going to try to get that video out to you this week. So before the end of July, my goal is I would love to be caught up with vlogs before the end of July, because I want to take part in Polarathon and I want to vlog it and I want to actually be able to put out the vlogs in a timely manner. So that's my goal. We'll see how it goes. I have a haul and unhaul, my TBR game, and my ping pong-a-thon TBR game that I need to film. And I would like to do my spring covers vlog because the books are all sitting right there, except for the ebook. So fingers crossed I get to that too. Anyways, the 2 books I finished this week were The Hammer of Thor by Rick Riordan. This is the 2nd book in the Magnus Chase and the Gods of Asgard series. I gave this book 5 stars. I absolutely loved it. I think this is going to be up there with the Trials of Apollo for my favorite Rick Riordan series. Whatever book 1 was missing, this one had. I will also say it's got that humor. I find Apollo as a character and a narrator very humorous, and Magnus definitely has that. And I don't know if he had it in the first book, and if he did, I just missed it. But in this one, I really caught it. And I'm going to share with you my favorite chapter title, because one of the best things about the Trials of Apollo, and I'm finding with this book, is the names of the chapters And I don't want to share them all with you, but I'm going to share my favorite because it absolutely cracked me up. And here it goes. Squirrels in the window may be larger than they appear. That was my favorite one. There's so many brilliant chapter titles, and they're done in a way of like, that's a hilarious chapter title, but it absolutely does not give you any sort of idea of what is going on and why a squirrel may or may not be showing up and is larger than it may appear. So I love that, like, some of the chapter headings do give little things away, but a lot of them don't. Like, you keep using the word help. I do not think it means what you think it means. That tells you a little bit, but nothing that's going to spoil anything. Like, I don't feel like I'm spoiled for having read that. So I absolutely love getting to read the chapter titles, and I very rarely read them beforehand because I like reading them as I go along in the book. So absolutely loved this book. Definitely a new favorite series of mine. Unless book 3 just completely bombs, and I don't see that happening. But 5 stars, one of my favorite books of the month, one of my favorite books of the year, and I was very happy to read this. And then the only other book I read is Skander and the Unicorn Thief, and I believe I'm going like 4.25 stars. In this book, we're following a young boy named Skander who has dreamed of becoming a unicorn rider. His mom died when he was young, and he's got an older sister, and his dad is struggling, and he just really wants to be a unicorn rider. It's something he's wanted his entire life, and he is in the year where he gets to take the test to determine whether he is capable of becoming a unicorn rider. And he is watching the unicorn races, which feels very much kind of like a Kentucky Derby type thing. And this person shows up at the Kentucky Derby of unicorn races and steals a unicorn. And it kind of puts everything in upheaval and makes the world very, very dangerous. And despite that, Skander still wants to be a unicorn rider. But unfortunately, on the day of his test, everything that can goes wrong does go wrong. And Skander worries that he will never be able to get to take his exam, pass the test, and become the unicorn rider he's always dreamed of being. But then at the last minute, Skander gets a bit of hope and ends up finding a way to head to the school to train. But that doesn't mean the obstacles stop there, and he has a lot of things that he has to overcome while he's at the school and learning to be a unicorn rider. This has a lot of the vibes of the series that shall not be named. If you know, you know. And I really enjoyed it. I loved getting to see the world, be introduced to the unicorn riders and unicorns and how they work. And they are, I tell you, not the sweet, fluffy things that are depicted in our world, which is actually part of the story. It's like a myth that they, at some point in their world, learned that unicorns were not cute and fluffy and lovable. The innocent creatures that we all kind of grew up believing they would be. And I love seeing Skander develop relationships with the other unicorn riders, and I love his relationship with his sister. And it definitely has the feel that it could be like maybe the next big thing, the next big kind of series that has the vibes of the series that won't be named. Because it is definitely a chosen one trope, and I liked it. I enjoyed the world, I enjoyed the characters, I enjoyed the plot, and I definitely will be reading book 2. Though I don't think that comes out until like April of next year. So I have ways to go, and at some point I will probably reread Skander and the Unicorn Thief before I read whatever book 2 is. So that's my update. Like I said, didn't read much, didn't have much to say, and certainly did not want to film when it was hot out, because let me tell you, you would not have been able to hear me. My fan is very loud. And I could not figure out a way to turn on the fan where it wasn't just drowning me out. So it just wasn't worth it. And I did not want to have the lights on. So hopefully this next week will go a bit smoother because, well, I have a TBR to finish because I don't want to have to pull punishments, because based on the way Ping Pongathon is set up, I'm really worried that I'm going to have to read like 20 books for that. So yeah, we'll see. I will be doing my Phase 10 TBR first, with the idea of that is the priority. Try to get as many of those books that I'm already planning on reading on my Ping Pong-a-thon TBR. Plus, that'll mean I can know what series I need to continue, so I can work on trying to incorporate those as well. So I have a busy week ahead of me. It will be almost the end of July when I finish next week's vlog, which is crazy. Anyways, I'm going to wrap this up. All of my social media, including my Discord, is linked in the description below if you'd like to come chat with me. If you've made it this far in the video, leave me unicorn emojis in honor of Scanner and the Unicorn Thief. Like this video and subscribe to my channel, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye!